Hey, I'm Molly Sleuth. I'm a former big city cop, detective, and inventor of the Sarlacc, which is sort of like Werewolf. It's a social deduction lie detection game, uses all original trilogy Star Wars characters. And hey, I'm going to be hosting it at UConn in Ypsilanti, Michigan, November 15th, 16th, and 17th. So come down, let's play, let's come up with a diabolical scheme, and thanks to Sticker Mule, because we have some giveaways for those that can survive the Sarlacc. Okay, tonight I want to talk lie detection. We love to play these social deduction games, and for the purposes of tonight, let's just talk werewolves, villagers, bad guys, good guys. It's a lot easier. The Sarlacc has so many twists and turns, which makes it such an advanced, awesome game that everybody loves. But everybody's played werewolf, and we all know if you're the bad guy or the werewolf, you have to lie and say you're the villager, and you kill people every night. So it's the village's job to find out who the werewolves are. So lying it's simple and it's complicated. So I could go on and on about lie detection. I love it. It is just such a fascinating piece of humanity for me. We are taught when we are little that lying is at the core of like bad character. It's not that you lied to mommy about eating the cookie. Mommy knows that cookies are good. It's that you lied to me to my face. So it's like thief, liar, right? So lying, you'd think, in a game like Werewolf has very low stakes. You're not going to prison, although you're being accused, interrogated maybe, but there's not really any high stakes. You might get kicked out of the game, who cares? But that's not the reality of it. The vast majority of people are emotional offenders. Maybe in another video we'll get to people with frontal lobe issues, sociopaths, teenagers. But for the purposes of this, we're talking about the average, ordinary, mass population is an emotional offender. We feel bad about lying, even about being a stupid werewolf. So that is how they get outed. Because what you're doing when you lie detect, it's not so much that there's ooh, that's a lie. You're detecting the leaked anxiety that people are feeling as a result of lying. It's emotional for them, even though you're just a werewolf. So what you're going to observe is like tension, but you're going to see it in clusters. So there's a lot of myths about lie detection, like, oh, he touched his nose. Oh, she folded her arms. Like, oh, he looked up and to the right. No. What you need to see are clusters. And we can get into deep in the weeds with lie detection in another video, but today I really just want to talk about in terms of social deduction games, how to spot the werewolves so that you can win the game, even though I always get kicked out. I'm trying to help you guys. Listen to me. Okay, so for the purposes of this training, I will be overacting some of these. What you're going to see is going to be more subtle. But I really want you to get like a good idea of what it is that you're looking for, and then you'll fine tune it as you play the game. So my acting skills are terrible, forgive me. And I don't know how to do any editing, so this is all in one cut. Good luck to us both. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look for when I'm looking for lie detection, one, clusters. One little thing doesn't set me off. It's got to be a series of them. So we'll get into clusters towards the end after I give you some real definitive points of what you're looking for when it comes to deception detection. But the first thing that I look for is, what do you look like when you are looking at your card and learning what your role for the game is going to be? I know I can look at my card, my paint chip, at any time. I want to see you, because this is the most... the least amount of walls that you have up. You don't feel that you're particularly being, judged or looked at. So you're going to see a more organic version of that player in the circle as each person looks at their cards. That's like the best time to start gathering information about these people that you're playing the game with. If you're a werewolf or a villager, you're going to find out in a second. Watch these people look at their card. What I typically see, playing the card and moderating, knowing who's the liar, is you'll see as they look at their card, the eyes will open, you'll see fear, you'll see panic, pupils are dilating if you're even that close to be able to see that. You'll see some concealing, some tension, and maybe some darting of the eyes. Sometimes you'll see like inappropriate smiling. You might see them even try to conceal the card by sticking it under them. When they go to give it back to the moderator, they want to make sure that nobody's looking at the card as they give it back. Whereas somebody who is a villager, or not a bad guy, you'll see that sometimes they will look a little bored, or they'll look at the card for a little bit. They're not like, oh shit, hide it. They might even look a little bit disappointed, but if they look really disappointed, sometimes those are people that are like, I can't believe I have to be the bad guy. I'm gonna have to lie through this whole thing. So it's far more subtle if they're a good guy. But essentially you're gonna see a lack of tension. And then for some of these games, like the Sarlacc, there are so many game players that have so many twists to them. So know who your players are in the game, if possible. And if you have villager, werewolf, and then a special character that does something special, and the person is like looking at their card forever and a half, like we already know which one you are. So also the amount of time that they look at their card. I would say that people tend to look at their card the quickest when they are the bad guy. And because it's that nature of, oh shit. So that's what you're gonna see, those oh shit indicators. Now, you're also gonna watch them after they've looked at the card, because there's a difference I see in players that are playing bad guys versus ordinary villagers. And what I mean to say is that an ordinary villager now knows they're safe, but other people aren't. And now they're going to be looking around to look at other people because there are bad guys amongst us and I want to know who they are. They're going to be very engaged. They might lean forward and they want to know who's a bad guy. They might even ask the neighbor, like, so what'd you get? Like, come on, oh my God, like the werewolves are amongst us. Whereas somebody who's a werewolf now gets to take a back seat. They might even lean back and they might not even make eye contact with anyone. They might start, taking a sip of their coffee that they brought to game night. They're going to be a little disengaged. Also, during the gameplay, during the day phase, I find that people that are the bad guys also aren't as engaged during the day phase. Now, understand, and this gets me like kicked out of this game all the time. You people are stupid. I'm really trying to help you. So the purpose of the game is for the good guys to sniff out the bad guys and kick them out of the game so that we win. I can't say that enough. And then I get kicked out because I'm loud. Like, we're literally trying to find the bad guy. Whereas the bad guys I'll see will take sort of just a laissez-faire sort of attitude of like, yeah, I mean, if you want to vote for him, I don't know that I'm going to vote for him though. And the reason is because they're killing people at night. So they're not as invested during the day. If we kill a guy, don't kill a guy, who cares? This isn't my time to shine. My time to shine is, and everybody go to sleep, and werewolves wake up. Pick somebody you want to kill. Boom, right there. Okay, go to sleep. And now it's a day phase, and it's like, well, they're going to pick somebody or not, but I don't really care. So I look at how engaged they are during the day phase as well. Now, as the accusations start to fly, this is when it gets really interesting. And I don't always look at the person that I'm accusing to start gathering information about who I suspect or not. In fact, sometimes it's best to look at the person that is not talking to see what their reaction is to the conversation that is going on. Because when we lie, we are conscious that we're lying. And so we try very hard to make it look natural. And that's what makes it not look natural, and why we have all these incongruencies and indicators of lying and deception. So one thing I notice is that if I think that you are the bad guy, I might call on you because now I'm going to see what your baseline is for when everybody's looking at you and you have to talk about something. I might see some nervousness, I might see some anxiety, but we're not going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about the person sitting directly next to you. And there's a reason. Because when I accuse the person next to you, it is natural for humanity to be like, oh shit, like the person next to me is a bad guy? They're waking up and killing people? I could be next. There might be like a startle reflex or moving a little bit away from that person. But if I get a smile, oh yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be. They're smiling because you're off the mark. They're the bad guy. There wouldn't be any reason for them to smile if the purpose of the game is to find out the bad guy and we found out a bad guy and you get a wry smile. man, I'm going to be watching you. So also, when they act confused about the evidence, and this happens with these games all the time. Okay, wait. First of all, he nominated him, but then that girl was killed, and then this, and there's all these accusations, and everybody's trying to put it together, and that's why I think it's you. So I see that people who are guilty, they're the bad guy, and come on, guys, it's not personal. You flipped over a card, it said good guy, bad guy. It's not personal. You're the bad guy. Just fine. Like, I know that you have to lie, but you know I have to find you. Let's just stop making it personal. So what I'll see is that they will act confused about the evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. He nominated him. I don't remember that. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? If I'm accusing you based off A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you're like, I don't understand A, B, C, D, E, F, G, an innocent person says, it doesn't matter A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm innocent. I got my card. It said villager. I'm not the guy. So I don't know where you're wrong, but your math ain't mathin'. I am not the guy. When you see lie detection, and okay, so when I used to interrogate suspects of crime, you would see an inability to deny. And it was really key because they can't say, I'm not a werewolf. They'll say things like, I would never be a werewolf. I'm not that kind of person. Guys, do I really seem like I'm a werewolf? Like, I don't even have any hair on my back. And they'll say all these deflective, stupid things, but they can't deny I am not a werewolf. I didn't steal the car. They'll say, I don't even steal cars. Like, that's not even like my kind of thing. Like, I mean, I know I've got a long rap sheet, but like, I've never been caught for stealing a car. Okay, they just said that they've never been caught for stealing a car. So now I'm thinking they probably have stolen cars, just maybe not this one. Which brings me to this. When we're doing lie detection, you are seeing that deception in the form of anxiety and everything. I might know that you're being deceptive, but the thing that lie detection doesn't tell you is the why. In Werewolf, it's very easy. Why would you lie about not being a werewolf? Obviously, because you want to stay in the game. With crimes, it's a little bit different. Maybe they didn't steal that car, but they stole another one. Maybe they know who stole the car, but it wasn't them. Maybe they rode in it, and they think that they're going to be guilty for that. There's many reasons why you might detect that deception, but they didn't steal that car, but you're still going to get lying indicators. It's a little bit different, and maybe I'll make a detective one at another time. But the inability to deny happens a lot, and you'll see a lot of that comedic relief, and that is just to get that anxiety out instead of just a flat denial. Another thing that happens, and I definitely saw it investigating crimes, is that denials will get bigger, bigger, bigger. No, I'm not the werewolf. Guys, I'm not the werewolf. Nobody's listening to me. I just said I'm not the werewolf. Very good indicator that that person is telling the truth. If it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, I'm not the werewolf. Guys, I'm not the werewolf. I'm not the werewolf. To me, that's an indicator that you're probably the werewolf, because you can see them getting broken down. And it's such a good sign when you're coming to sit with somebody, interrogating them, like, I'm getting somewhere. And the reason interrogation, we can get into that. There's so many side quests here, but less than 1% of cases go to court with a confession. And so I owe my victim to not have to sit on that stand and go, that's him, and put them through that and pay the entire state and for a building and jury and everything. Like, if you did it, let's just come to grips with that you did it. No harm, no foul. Again, it's not personal. Okay, so also I want to say the no for a yes and yes for a no. And this is going to be like terrible acting because I have so many layers going on in my brain right now. But, hey, do you think these pants make me look fat? No, I think they look good. Or, hey, can I take you on a date sometime? That sounds great. That's the incongruency that I'm talking about. Yes for a no and no for a yes. You'll see that. A single shoulder shrug shows that you're not very confident about what you say. So double shoulder shrug is a lot more natural. When we do natural body language, it's typically, like I just did, symmetrical. When you're doing things that are that are asymmetrical, that's a little bit of a flag for me. So I'm going to watch it. Now, these lies come in clusters. So if I see, are you the werewolf? I don't even know why I would be the werewolf. With a butt swipe, your whole body is moving. Like a butt swipe is a lot of energy just got released, and it makes you feel like really good afterwards when you have all this anxiety because you have to lie. So the butt swipe is definitely something I look for. Also, like, what are your feet doing? Are they facing away from me? Are they doing a little wiggle thing like you're literally running away? Are they planted like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to run? Because part of this lie detection is that as you're lying, you feel like you're gonna get caught for it any second. So you're almost like trying to protect yourself. So your feet might be like faced away. Maybe they're doing like a little like running kind of motion or a lot of like tapping, which gets a lot of anxiety out. And you'll see even hands go to protect themselves, to protect their vital organs. You'll see it like really intense sometimes, or just, like feeling themselves, like grooming, trying to help themselves like get very like calm, to calm them down. That's not the word I'm looking for. But you'll see protection. You'll see closed up. You'll see the legs crossed. And I'm going to show you a clip at the end of this. I'll put a link in the description. You can only watch the first 10 seconds. That's fine. There are 8 indicators in a mega cluster of this person that you all know lying. Don't know why they're lying. Again, you can indicate that is deception based off of all this cluster of indicators. I couldn't tell you why they're lying. It's very concerning that they're lying. Again, wherever you fall, as you feel about this person, it's not personal. All I'm telling you is that is a lie. Those 10 seconds aren't true, and they know it, and that's why they're doing all of the scrambling that you'll see. Okay, hopefully I can figure out how to tuck this in somewhere, because I totally forgot to tell you the gasp. So one of the things that happens as you're sort of bracing yourself for being outed as a liar is that sometimes you're holding your breath. And so after the lie comes out, are you the werewolf? No, I'm not the werewolf. And now you've moved on, other people are looking on, and now it's my time to relieve that anxiety. And sometimes you'll see, like, what's going on? It'll be a real dramatic breath, or just the lie is done. So when you're talking to people that you think are the werewolf, after they're done talking, pause on them a little bit before you get distracted by somebody else's accusation or talking. Watch them for a minute, because sometimes you'll see a lot of anxiety released well after they stop talking. Okay, so another thing you'll see or hear is repetition. I'm not the werewolf. I'm not the werewolf. I'm not the werewolf. It's almost like they're trying to convince themselves of that lie, or answering a question with a question. And I saw this on patrol for years. Hi, the reason I stopped you is because of the stop sign. Is this your car? Is this my car? Step out of the car. I don't know why you're trying to buy time, but I'm not having it. Out. Answering a question with a question. Hey, are you the werewolf? Why would you think that I would be the werewolf? Well, somebody here's the werewolf. I'm just trying to narrow it down. Asking me, why would you think I'm the werewolf? Do I seem suspicious? Like, just answer the question. Are you the werewolf? No, I'm not the werewolf, is so much more realistic than all this woo-shaw craziness that goes on all over the place. In fact, one time I was on patrol, there was a synagogue that had some threats. And we saw this kind of like shady car pulled up next to it, and in the red zone, a violation of the law. And there were people sitting in the car. They weren't going in, like sometimes people drop old ladies off, whatever. And so I'm like, just didn't seem right. So I pull up behind it. We start to get out. And I'm like, what's going on with this car? Are they doing something nefarious to the synagogue? And this guy comes out, and he is absolutely air traffic controlling. These hands are saying, look anywhere but in my car. "Officer, thank you so much. I already called my brother and he is coming down to help me with my flat tire." There was no flat tire on the car. "So thank you." And I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but there's something in that car that he doesn't want me to see. And the end of the story was everyone in that car got arrested. We got some weapons, drugs, you name it. Why were they parked there? I have no idea. The guy would not have gone to jail had he not completely told me he was guilty. So, because that anxiety had to leak. Oh shit, it's the cops, right? So, also they take longer to reply. Because your brain is on so many levels when you're lying. If I say, "What did you do last night?" "Oh, I made dinner and then I went to bed early." Versus, "What did you do last night?" "Well, you'll get speech disturbances, you'll get word salads where they're just like, "Well, I really wanted to go do this, but then I also, this TV show, what did you do last night?" Well, not what were you thinking? What is every thought in your entire waking life? What did you do last night? "Well, you know what you did last night. You were over there doing the thing you shouldn't have been doing." Now, that's not for complicated questions. For Werewolf, totally works. You got a card, you're a good guy, bad guy, that's it. But don't be thinking that you're going to catch your boyfriend by saying, "Where were you 4 Thursdays ago at 2:29 p.m.?" Because we're all going to have to take a long time to think about the answer to that. Okay, so, another thing is higher pitched answers. "Is this your car?" "Is this my car?" Like, that's something that I'm going to be looking for, and I would definitely throw it in with a cluster. And I think I got all my notes. I'm sure that there's probably more. Yeah, okay. I think that's enough. I'd love to do some more, but what do you guys see when you're playing this game? What kind of indicators, like, or do you just have absolutely no idea and you're like, "Oh my God, it was my friend and I didn't even know"? Okay, so that said, go down to the description and look at this clip that I'm sending you. It's on somebody else's page, so hopefully it'll last there. And just the first 10 seconds, 2 sentences, you have 8 indicators in a mega cluster of deception. Super concerning why they would lie about that. I'm not even going to make any kind of assumption. I have no idea. All I know is that they don't believe what they're saying. So get the personal shit out of it. It's not personal. You're lying or you're not lying. I've told you some factors. And hopefully you guys come and see me at UConn. So it's in Ypsilanti, Michigan, November 15th, 16th, and 17th. I'll be hosting it all 3 days. And it's going to be a really good time. So hopefully I'll see you there and be safe. Love you guys. And I'm out.